For all those who remember these guys, you might know them as a death metal band, but did you know they started as a deathcore band? Not only that, but they basically changed the whole game and they created one of the best EP ever made. But once again, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, my friend, as usual, take a cup of coffee, cigarette, burger, whatever you feel like, as we explore the Job for Cowboy Myspace era. So Jump for Cowboy was founded very early in 2003 in Glendale, Arizona. They created their MySpace profile in 2004 and they were already uploading songs from their very first demo. Yeah, so completely deathcore, right? I don't think they were even realizing it. They were innovating in a place where people were trying things, but it wasn't clear. Deathcore didn't exist yet, and bands would, try little breakdowns here and there, but they were fully on the big squeal thing and the big breakdown stuff. So like, and very early, keep in mind that's a demo from like 2004 or something. I think they deserve a lot of credit for that. In my opinion, it was very good, very brutal, and as a person who very often write deathcore music, it isn't easy to create a lot of impact in a different way. Because so many bands are doing so many things and you never really know before releasing it, which brings us to the infamous Doom EP. I don't think you understand how much it was praised by the deathcore community. And when I say deathcore community, it wasn't even a thing. Like it was nothing yet. It was just a bunch of kids like myself and a lot of people, and probably you watching if you're on my channel. We were just so excited without realizing that it would be such a big thing. And I think that's the beauty of it. I think it's very fair and very safe to say that this EP defined deathcore itself. You know, if it wasn't for the Doom EP, I think deathcore would even be different. That's how much I believe that they changed the game, and they deserve all the credit in the world for that. I mean, wow, man, like Johnny's vocals mixed with like the perfect deathcore raw sound. You know how much, if you've been watching my videos, you know how it's important for me, or at least how much I enjoy when it's raw and brutal. I feel like so many deathcore records nowadays are super polished, which is fine. I'm not a hater or anything. I'm just saying there's something about the rawness of a band EP, especially at that period of time back in those days. It was very special. But to come back to the band and Job for a Cowboy and the whole EP thing, it was very well received by the community itself, like the fans on MySpace. And by the way, they were blowing up like crazy once again, as I mentioned in every single video I'm doing, I feel like. I mean, the metal community itself really changed over the years and nowadays and stuff like that. But back then it was very critical of the whole deathcore new wave of like, I don't know, it was just, it wasn't welcome in the metal community is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Especially that metal community, it wasn't good, you know. For them adding breakdowns, big squeal. For them, it was ruining metal, you know. So when they released the EP, it was either you really love it or you're a death metal fan and you hate it. And I don't want to generalize. I'm pretty sure there's some death metal fans that were also into it. Like, I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying it was pretty controversial back then. It wasn't as respected as it is today. I mean, it's awesome to see that now deathcore is like this whole thing and it's respected and people love it. But if you remember during those days, it wasn't like that at all. It wasn't respected. It was considered like not real metal or something. It was this whole thing. And I feel like I said it before in other videos, but in this one, I believe it's very important because you're gonna notice that Job for a Cowboy took a very different direction. But yeah, anyway, I could talk about that for hours, so maybe I'll just do a video about it someday, I guess. So after the release of the EP online and blowing up on MySpace and stuff like that, they started promoting it live, and it was awesome. Oh my god, man, there's something about those days. I can't possibly be the only one who noticed that this era had some of the best performances live. It was crazy. Bands were like moving so much and like and the vocalist had to like be crazy or something. It was different and I'm here for it, you know. Really every single video I'm doing about it, I'm like, I can't stress enough how many times I can watch a video live. Not only to make the video, but just because I'm genuinely enjoying it. So yeah, obviously Job for a Cowboy were like building something solid, and I'm not sure if they were even aware of like how big they were getting and stuff like that, but there were so many people behind it and like and live, and it was crazy. Okay, now I can't move on with the video without mentioning the infamous video of Entombment of a Machine. Holy shit, man, it brings so many memories, and it also makes me feel old. Anyway, the weird thing is, I don't even know in what year the video was made. I did some research, I was looking around, and there's no clear date, and I don't know if it was removed from YouTube or if it was too early for YouTube, but all the videos, like the official video for it, was uploaded like 10 years ago or something. But let's be real, it was way before that, so I don't know. But yeah, it was this whole thing. Every single band starting wanted to be Job for Cowboy. That was it. Ask any big bands in the scene, who were around during those days. They're gonna confirm that Job for a Cowboy was a pioneer, and everybody wanted to be like them. Yeah, Entombment of a Machine was the song you wanted to hear live. I mean, wow. It was crazy. I feel like I'm always saying it was crazy, but it was. It was. Anyway, after playing shows for a while and touring and all that, they finally got signed by Metalblade Records. I mean, I don't even need to tell you how big this label is. If you're here and watching this video, and if you were around during the Myspace days, you know what Metalblade is. Whitechapel, all those bands. So yeah, big milestones in their career. Which brings us to 2008, when they released their new album that everybody was waiting for, Genesis. You didn't hear any breakdowns, did you? It's because there's none. No breakdown, no crazy pig squeals, nothing like before. They completely went death metal, like pure death metal, which isn't wrong in itself. It was just kind of surprising for all the fans, because if you remember, they built up their community with deathcore. So obviously people were surprised and confused. But don't get me wrong, the album did very well. It charted pretty high, and people were, very happy with it in the metal community in general. But the deathcore kids, we were surprised. And today, with a new perspective on things, I completely understand. They were one of the very first deathcore, big squeal type of bands, and they had a lot of pressure from the death metal community, and they probably wanted to tour with the big death metal bands, but the big death metal bands were not respecting deathcore that much. So with Metalblade record and their new vision in mind, I believe they just wanted to do something bigger. I guess they didn't see the deathcore thing getting that much traction, or maybe they just didn't want to do that anymore. Who knows? But I think it's still very respectable that they went for the whole death metal thing, and they got respected. They played with big death metal bands, and if you go and try to read on them or whatever, they're considered death metal fully, Everybody knows they started as deathcore, or at least a lot of people knows, but they are respected in death metal, and I think that's what they wanted, and it's all that matters. You don't do a band for others, you do a band for yourself, you do music because you love it, and then people are enjoying. So that's the order you're supposed to do things. But yeah, anyway, all that to say that I don't blame them, I understand, but as a deathcore lover, it was surprising. It's just sometimes I'm wondering what would have happened if they just kept being deathcore, and played with deathcore bands and just like build a scene with like Suicide Silence and stuff like that. I just keep wondering like what would have happened. I guess we'll never know. And that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, I know it's a short video, but I'm talking about the deathcore good old days, and they purely went to death metal after, so I mean, I did the video because I couldn't possibly do this channel without mentioning Job for Cowboy and the impact they had on the scene. They still deserve so much credit for everything they did. Anyway, as usual, if you enjoyed the video and you like my work in general, please leave a like and subscribe because there's so much more coming and it means a lot. And for all those who take time to comment and share your opinion, thank you so much. It's amazing, it's unreal, and I really appreciate it. But yeah, I'll stop talking now. I'll see you in the next one.